Today I'm making an animal I've wanted to try for a long time. It's so cute, but the techniques used are very surprising. We'll be using an easy paste, some mystery textures, and we might even slap the piece with some real plants for good measure. Let me show you how to make this cutie yourself. Stick around till the end to see how it turns out. I hope you're good and you are ready for our new artistic adventure. What's happening today? I received a request that actually made me pretty excited. I do have a list of so many requests, but it has to be a special day when you feel like creating something. And this really did it for me. Hey, Highland cow, yes. I will be using the bigger canvas, 40 by 30. That's a deep edge canvas. I looked online to see whether anybody tried the Highland cows before, and I was shocked. There were hundreds of people painting Highland cows. What is it? Anyway, so my only solution is to create something different, obviously. Maybe a 3D Highland cow. Would that be exciting? I've done a couple of paintings in a kind of unique, well, I think it's unique, 3D style with texture, with animals. That was my raven. And then I did a bumblebee that I was so fond of, but it's in America now. I think this style was sort of closest to my personal likings. I know that you're thinking probably a cow with long horns should go this way. I don't think I can. I don't know if it's OCD or what, but I find it difficult painting this way. I was looking for something to imitate some grass or hay. I've got those bits. I'll put them somewhere here a little bit. Okay, the heavy gesso. Oh, there's not much left. I've been liking it a lot. Depending on the amount of gesso you put on, your texture will be more or less visible. Because I'm imagining that this is somehow a vegetation and grass. I'm putting it this way. Oh yeah, it is so much more runny. It's more runny. I think that gesso is actually holding it better down. Yeah, I'm sure you can see how runny this is. So, back to gesso. But we've checked it. Leaving those marks here. We've got tons of texture and marks. I've been flicking through some photos of real cows. I'm looking at black and white pictures. I think that helps me plan better. And also I don't want to be influenced by other paintings. I'm struggling a bit with my cow. I've decided I want the horns to be more angled. Once I'm happy with it, I am going over. Nose in the right position. I've decided on one eye. I think it's going to look nice with one eye. So I want its hair to be covering this. This is, by the way, a 4B pencil. You know, I like those because they are soft and I can transfer my image onto the place that I want. I do it on a piece of paper so that I can reposition. It's just me. If you feel confident, you can draw it straight away on the canvas. There are some templates online if you want to trace an image. You can take your own photo, you can trace that. At the moment, I don't sell my stencils, but I do make them available every week on my Patreon, along with extended versions of my videos every week. It's like with people, everyone has got a different facial features. That's the plan. Once my background is dry, I'm going to transfer him onto the canvas. Or should I say, I'll transfer her, since this is a Highland cow. But we do have Highland bulls as well, don't we? So we don't know. Now, the right position. I don't want it bang in the middle. I very rarely do it. And of course it's going to be this way. I almost forgot. Okay, that's better. That's better. And this side will be more blended. So I am going to tape it down and transfer the image now. If I don't tape it, I risk some movement and then my image will be blurred. All we do is press down and it's transferred. So easy. I'm using a sharpish object. And you can almost see that the graphite is coming off my baking sheet. Let's see how well it transferred. I'm always curious once I peel these off. Moment of truth. Oh yeah. Look how strong. That's incredible. So now we've got this pale image here. This would be a nice template for my patrons. Now look at all the colors I've collected here. I'm thinking of lilac-y, some blues. Why lilacs? I'm imagining that this cow is going to walk on some heather. Well, it is going to be abstract. However, these are my color inspirations, so pale lilac. But if we add some white, it may not be so shiny. I don't want it metallic. I have processed magenta. I will use a blending brush at the moment for first layer, just some light blues. I think generally if we mute the colors that they are more elegant, but that's my opinion. Of course you may disagree here. You know me and the backgrounds, they may probably change 10 times. At the moment I am coating it with this shade that I absolutely love. Yes, I do. You know, it's the color of my channel, the grayish blue. This is just underpaint. Probably safer if I use a smaller brush here around the cow. With those textured sections, all you have to do is just dubbing. Painting doesn't really work that well. If you want to get into all the crevices, you have to basically have a nice soft brush and dub it in. I am not too sure how yellow is going to behave here. I don't want to get any green hue. Kind of interesting. Getting this beigey tone. You know, every time you think, no, that's awful, I can see that. I can see that. I am going to fix it at some point. So, yeah, no worries. As much as I try to procrastinate with starting on the cow, yes, I would like the cow in 3D, but not all of it. The easiest thing is to start with the horns. I'm going to show you how to mix my paste because there were so many questions regarding that. I had an old cone that's empty, and because I like this one and it was very fine, the end was tiny, I can still trim it. This is this type of plastic that you can find in the flower shop. This was from a bunch of flowers. This is my all-purpose filler wall putty, something you builders would use. You can mix it with paint, or in my case I'm going to mix it with modeling paste. I could use heavy gesso as well, but I've got just a little bit left. You could do it 1-to-1. Any combination should work, you know. I'm trying to make it more pliable. So of course the wall putty is more gritty. That's why mixing it with something else makes it smoother. You can almost hear it, you know, the wall putty. Like tiny sand. So I hope all of you who wanted to see how I mix it, I did post a link to the videos where I mix it, but if you didn't find it, here it is. See, it's becoming quite liquidy. Just make sure there are no lumps, because that will block your nozzle. If it looks a bit wonky, like here, and straighten it up with a brush. I do want to fill it up though, that's for sure. The background is dry, so I can put my hand there. I love this part. This is so therapeutic. Oh, by the way, I have to tell you, because I was so upset today. One of my lovely subscribers sent me a message that somebody is posting pictures of my work and actually selling it. I thought, how is that possible? But I looked and yes, indeed, this person, I'm sure I'm not the only one that she stole work from. The picture of my work with her price. So obviously she's planning to make a copy. That was so upsetting. That's so... I wonder if that happened to any of you. Now the second most important part would be the nostrils. So if I do... I don't want to mess that part up. Goodness me. I need to find a real cow. Will I mess it up or not? In this case, it's easier to paint it I could have applied the whole thing and then dug the holes. Maybe that would have been easier, you know, thinking now aloud. This was definitely the trickiest part. Now the bottom lip is going to be not so protruding. So I think that's a good base for addition of the hair later. What I'm doing now, I am spreading a little bit of paste with the brush so there is some texture underneath. Once we add the texture with the brush, it's going to look really nice. I'm hoping. Part of me thinks that I actually don't want that much more added. Let's do the eye. They do have huge eyes. How am I going to do eyelashes with this? And the eyelashes go down. I thought it would take me 3 days to build the layers, but I do it in one go. And it's still not even 1 AM. I'm only adding some very small marks. Can you hear it? It's completely dry. I am looking at the background and it's very nice and cheerful, but I do want it darker, kind of like more contrast, definitely. I want to mess it up basically. It's too tidy at the moment. So I've got black. This time I am going to do it directly with the brush. But you see, wet brush like this seeps underneath and creates some nice contrast. We will still be able to see the pinks and the purples, and I can always reintroduce. But I do want grey. Part of me wants it colourful, part of me thinks it can't be too childish in a way, you know. Also, there's something to be said about layering colours. Look what I'm doing. I'm basically using this wipe to add some tone on top. I've decided to introduce a little bit of brown in places and yellow. Maybe we need a bit more. Oh, this is so dramatic. I immediately got some black mixed. I know what I'll do. I'll go much darker and then I'll bring back the pinks and the purples. I'm mixing now burnt sienna with black, hoping that will look good. Now we've lost all the lovely pinks and purples, didn't we? Could have been a big mistake. The cow doesn't look happy. So looking at what I'm doing and thinking, oh, okay, I'm getting somewhere, you see? You see? What color is that? Don't even ask me. Well, basically brown, black, yellow on top of purple, pink. Now a little bit of magenta, purple, white, maybe even black. So I can reintroduce a little bit of color. Look at this mess. I brought some plants. I just wanted some splashes with color, but in a kind of random way. Oh, I've got a really nice one. These are my pouring acrylics I used for other projects. This one is quite promising. Oh, yeah. Yellow on top of brown. That's a nice different color. Now we'll be painting the cow, and I've got burnt sienna, burnt umber, and a color that might be very useful, raw sienna. Well, I found deep yellow. Maybe this will be useful. Now, generally, I'm not the lover of browns, but they are so useful for basically every single painting. Got a selection of brushes, smaller, bigger, flatter. Once we add the burnt sienna, it becomes a bit pinky. I'm trying to get rid of the pinkiness. That's better. So, my foundation. The horns are not, you know, perfectly uniform in color. They should be a bit patchy. I am going to cover those edges, of course. I will do the second one as well. I am only putting it in between the blues, and then I'll have to go over with the blue section here, because otherwise everything will look like it's a horn, and I don't want it. Now I will be adding all those random colors, brown I mean. Maybe I will start with the darker tones, undertones. It's a safe bet. Wherever you want to add those, imagine that the hair, there's a partition and we've got some darker hair underneath, so you kind of decide where you want to add it. When I looked at the real cows online, of course they have different shades, so many different variations. Some of them are more rusty, some of them are muted brown and cocoa colored. Probably the easiest will be to make a mixture. It also needs a name. Yes, absolutely. There were so many amazing names for my bee, for the bumblebee. Okay, I think I am going to coat the rest with one layer of something neutral, because it's going to be much easier having everything 3D. What's the like a mid-tone here? If you ask me what I'm mixing, you can see I'm just making a mess here on the plate. That's it. But I think overall that's a nice cow color. If you made a Highland cow, or if you are going to make a Highland cow having watched my video, please send me a picture via Instagram. I would love to see it. And if you're posting on social media and you are inspired directly by my tutorial, it would be awesome if you could credit me. And thank you very much to those who do it. I really appreciate it. This section should be much lighter. I don't know what's the best color for the nose area, but I do have a bit of burnt sienna. That seems to work all right. Like this guy has got some pinky lips. So what kind of shade is that? Like a greyish pink. That baby. No. So yes, I am going to obviously tone it down. That's not bad now. And then they do have, most of them that I saw, they have light eyelashes, which is very cute. So what we need now is something really dark brown. So let's just do everything dark brown first. I do want to make some black here. So all we need, that's my favorite thing to do, you know. Before I leave it alone, I am adding some more of the rusty color now. Maybe not on top of the head, because I do want it much lighter. But you see, building up the layers, that will look nice and will give us an impression that there's some depth. And now would be the time to create some highlights. And the good news is I already have those sections highlighted because of the 3D-ness. There is one thing left now. So I want him or her to be blended within the background, because at the moment it's kind of floating strangely above. I am going to try and blend the background into the cow now. Therefore, I need to go back to the same colors I used here with some colors. I could spray some paint here, but I know that not everyone has got spray paint, so I am going to just use my brush. Okay, this is a bit more grey than expected. Remember, your best tools are unexpected things like your fingers, piece of baby wipe. I've got so many professional tools, but this is what works really well. Oh, this, forgot. Of course I was going to fix that. I do want it coming on top of the horn. This is for all of you who are asking, how do you keep your clothes clean?
That's my secret, Cat.
I don't. I just put it in a plate, so I'm going to get washed. Look what I've got. Some painting tools. So I can imagine these on top, somewhere here. When you look from close, they've got such amazing patterns. Look at those little hearts. I'm sure you've noticed that this whole section, and I did mention that this section is much darker. I do want some grey bluish bits there, or a bit of lilac. Now I am going to coat it. Okay, I don't know if it's going to be too light, too dark, or what. Okay, we've got a little bit. That's nice. I think I considered it finished. There we are. I hope you enjoyed this piece. It's definitely one of my cutest creations. Don't forget to comment your name ideas in the comments, and please let me know if you enjoyed. If you would like to help support the channel, please consider checking out my Patreon for extended tutorials each week and more, and you can head over to AB Creative Official if you would like to own this original piece. Thank you so much for watching, and see you all next week. Bye bye!